What's up, guys, and welcome back to Europe and, well, the world, and a Spanish-less world at that as well. Got rid of the Spaniards, completely destroyed them last week, so Milan is now ours. We've secured that, and we took Panama. And yeah, we're probably going to look at taking over France. That's probably our next target. We've got the two Louisianas up here that we need to take, and Paris, and whatever else France have managed to secure over the time, which is basically bits of Belgium, Amsterdam, some of Germany, and a bit of Italy down here as well. So yeah, not too much, to be honest, although they're one of the biggest nations in the game. So I think if we were to take Paris, that would significantly reduce their ability. I mean, they'd still have these, but I think Paris is probably still their main stronghold. We do have a rake somewhere. Where is he? There he is. Up into Paris, so we'll send him away up there, and hopefully he can have a wee... Can you do it a bit quicker, mate? A wee bit of a spy around and see what's going on in Paris. We can kind of see how many troops they've got stationed in Paris, and then we can look at actually taking them on. But we've got loads of people getting ready to be generated down here that we can then send across to Paris, in the biggest invasion army the world has ever seen, apart from the last one that I sent. Maybe, I don't know, perhaps. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to do, to be honest. We took over a bit of India as well, and it'd be nice to go up and have a look at some of these places and see. That place looks massive. This place is not very big though. We could possibly look at taking this place, but it'd be nice to see how many troops they have in amongst all of this, just to see like who's the best target. But unfortunately we don't have... We can send our ships though. Right, okay, we'll do that. We'll send our ships up here. Unladen, nobody on them. So they have a fair amount of... about half an army. Most of it's town guard, but I don't think it should be too much of a challenge to go and take that over. A gem pit. An open gem pit. Well, you'll be getting upgraded. Making our way up this direction is probably quite a good idea from Panama, so... Where's our army? Here. If we send you into the fleet, and then I think we'll take over Jamaica on the way towards Florida, just because it's in the way, we might as well make the most of our journey. So, given that they have very few people, they did kill quite a lot of us, but nowhere near as many as we killed of them. Well, quite close to as many as they killed of us, but it was never going to work out in the end, because we had like twice as many troops. But we've now got Jamaica, which just adds a little bit extra to our income, given that Jamaica seems to have a sugar plantation. That's about all they've got, but nevertheless, it's something. Oh, the French have this as well. Trinidad and Tobago and the Windward Islands. And they've got this. Well, it's not really changed anything, but it's something to think about. I've literally been sitting here for about 5 minutes just watching French ships move around the place. It's unbelievable the amount of naval power France has, which is something that we're going to have to think about when we go to war with them. Because they're not going to be an easy enemy, because they're going to be able to just rock up and blockade all of our trade routes pretty much. So yeah, it's something we're going to have to deal with. Hopefully it doesn't end us. We might have to spend a few turns just building up our own fleets and hoping that we can just defend. Mainly we're just going to have to try and defend Waterford in Ireland, given that it's our main trading port, which is currently being blockaded by the Genuines, so we're going to have to get rid of them first as well. Well, that's unfortunate. Gran Colombia have just decided that they're going to declare war on us. Right, we don't need their help. They're the ones who took over... Why are you still trying to attack us? Just die already. Yeah, they're the ones who took over... I can't remember where it is. New Granada, yeah. They took over New Granada when the Spanish got killed. And as soon as we leave our army, like send our army up this direction, they declare war on us. You mad? You actually mad? I think they're mad. Alright, I'm going to deal with them. I'm going to have to deal with them. Do I want to send my army all the way down there? I don't know if I do. I mean, losing Panama's not a big issue, to be honest. Right, what I'll do is I'll just build up troops down here. Hope that we can fend off anything that comes our direction. I mean, given that there's no roads between Panama and Bogota down here, it takes about 3 turns to get from here to here anyway, so we've got time to build up a decent sized force in Panama to try and see off anything they send our direction, but it's just a pain in the arse, quite frankly. The Genoans have decided to send a ship, well, 2 ships, all the way from Italy up here to blockade Waterford for some reason. So, you can royally fuck off. Captured herself a ship. I like how we won that, despite the fact that they lost 0 ships. We lost 1, but we did capture one of their ships. I'm not sure that's, like, really a successful result, to be honest. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, given that we've got a decent amount of money at the moment, build a load more ships. And hopefully try and build up our fleet. Yeah, build up our fleet to the point at which we have a decent naval power that we can then start using, throwing around the place, especially when we go to war with France. Are we still at war with Sardinia? We are. They're just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. France have got that as well. I keep finding things that France have got that I completely forgot about. I'm really annoyed about these Genoans, but I don't really know what to do about them. See, now they're put themselves into Florence, I have no idea what to do, because I don't want to leave Milan undefended, and I also don't want to leave Rome undefended, so I'm just going to have to start. I've got no money. Can't even recruit anyone. Bloody banes of having to be a fucking ruler of an empire is just... it's too much! It's too much to think about. Anyway, as to be fair, I am spending like 7,000 coins on like a bunch of ships, but they are necessary, so... we'll send this ship back down here, and in a couple of turns, once we've replenished our army, we'll send them up and start declaring war on these people. Which I'm not sure is a great idea, given the size of them. But there's not much else to do over here, so might as well declare war on somebody. Bloody Genoans, again, just constantly want to blockade trade routes. It would be worth trying to get a peace treaty with them. Just fucking take it. Right, we'll give you a gift. Look at that, a big painting a horse. How's that? Alright, they're now very friendly with us, despite still being at war. Peace treaty, trade agreement. You take our gifts, and then you fucking spit in our face when we try and give you anything else. There we go. Finally. It took like 2 technologies and a fucking painting of a horse, but they eventually decided, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll be nice to you. Okay, so that's us now at peace with the Genoans, thankfully. Don't have to worry about them anymore. And they were just a small annoyance. It's just the sheer size of force that they have, which means that you just can't deal with them. Like, I would need to build like at least 2 full-size armies just to attempt to try and take them, and even then there's no guarantee because they've got a city with walls, so there's just like such a small chance of success that it's not really worth trying. I think the only person we're still at war with around Italy is the Sardinians, which they don't really care. They don't seem to be that bothered. I don't even think they've moved in the last like umpteen, like 20, 30 turns. They've just stayed exactly where they are. This guy's built fucking defences around him. That's how long he's been standing there. What are the road situation here? They don't have any roads. Right, let's build some basic roads in Panama. Hopefully that fixes a few things. They have roads. Actually, that might be a bad idea. Because if I build roads, then suddenly a road may develop between New Granada and us, and suddenly they've got a pathway to walk right away along into us much quicker. So I think for the time being, we'll leave it without any roads. But we will build roads at some point in the future. See, even Florida doesn't have roads, so we'll sort that out. They've got some dirt trails, but that's about it. So we'll put in some basic roads, hopefully help movement around the place and increase our trade income slightly as well. Right, let's go have a wee peek at Louisiana and see what the unit situation is. Right, they've got some force there, but nothing massive, so put ourselves in there. And in a turn or two, once we've built up our forces in England and we can then look at taking over France, we shall We shall, and the game actually runs at something more than 1 frame per second. France, Paris is actually not... Oh my god, this lag. Just moving my mouse is enough to lag it. Let's go look at some water. There we go. Look at some water. There we go. That's a comfortable, like, 12 frames per second. That's better than the 1 that we were getting a second ago. It's just the trees. Anywhere where we put, like, dense land, everything just completely slows down. Alright, that's better. It sorted itself out. Anyway. Yeah, Paris is actually looking reasonably easy to take. It's a lot of town guard, but there's not much in the way of actual units in there. So if we infiltrate it...
And listening.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Grant. He takes, like 2 turns, like half a year it takes him to walk from Spain all the way up to Paris, and then he gets shot at the gate. Fucking hell, Grant, honestly, mate. Anything interesting going on over here? Not really. Austria have expanded some. They've taken over this, which I'm not sure who had that, but they've now got it. All of, like, Poland. They've also managed to take over this, I think. I don't know if they had that. They only had, like, 9 places before. So they've managed to gain another, like, 4. So they've been on a bit of an expansion. These guys have just, like, randomly appeared. That was Ottoman territory before, so they've just suddenly arrived. Decided to take over Baghdad. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on over there. I don't check over that direction very often because there's not much to check for. Also, I noticed last week when I was editing this, Sweden have taken over Denmark. So that's why we were getting attacked, because Sweden were at war with Russia over this direction, Denmark down here, and us above them. So they were spending a lot of time trying to take over Denmark. They're also spending a lot of time trying to defend from the Russians. And they just didn't really have the time to come up and try and take over Norway, because, I mean, we're not really worth taking over. It's not a very big place, like, in terms of, like, financial gain or anything like that. It's just not that worth having. Whereas Denmark, Copenhagen being a pretty decent-sized city, it was worth them actually trying to take it, which they now have, which means that Denmark's only territory now is Iceland. It's the only place they have is Iceland, so they've completely lost their original territory of Denmark. And that's, I think, why they started then looking to attack us, is because they didn't have to attack anyone down here anymore. They've finished with this area, so they then sent the armies that were attacking Denmark up towards us, which we then swiftly told to fuck off. I have a small suspicion the French know what's happening. I think they've noticed that we have built up this massive army in London, and they've positioned all of their fleets along the north coast of France. Although it may not be enough to stop us. I think I might try and do what I did with Spain and play the backstabby game of getting a trade agreement, not trade agreement, military access into France. Yes, Sardinia, we'll take your peace agreement. Not that it changes anything really, because you've not done anything to annoy us in the last few turns, but gets us one less enemy. We've got a bloody rebellion again. Look at them. Look at them. You Greek bastards. Stop fucking raiding everything. Just give up. We've taken over your country. There's no reason to try and take it back. Donald Hurst is still sitting in this place down here. Perfectly blending in. Right, we're going to try and take out this lad in his moustache for the 3rd time. He's finally done something. Finally. Big Donald has finally taken out that lad in his moustache. I'm not sure if it's time yet. I'm really not sure if it's time to try and take France. I'm a bit anxious about the whole situation though, because just look at 1, 2, 3, 4 almost full-sized, like, naval fleets. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if we go to war with France, until we clear them out, until we get rid of France entirely, these fleets are just going to be wandering around the place, blockading all of our trade routes, and we're going to have no money. I'm really... It's like 50-50 as to whether this is going to be a good idea or not. If we get in and we take Paris easily, I mean, it's still going to be an issue, because even if we take Paris, until we've completely ridded the world of French, these navy fleets will still be there. Like, we could take everywhere France has got, except for, like, this one place down here. And until we do, all of the French fleets that are positioned around the place, they're all of them just going to be there just to annoy us. Screw it, you only live once, so let's just fucking make the most of it and actually attempt to take over the French. Where's France? Right. Let's see if we can get some military access. Don't offer military. Well, we could offer military access. Will you take that? Okay, so they didn't take that. They literally will not take any of this. That's not what we're trying to do here, boys. I go in with a like, I'll offer you military access, or I want military access in your country in return for some stuff, and they go, no, we won't take that, but we'll take some military access in turn for 1,000 coins. So that'll be a no. Right, okay, they're not going to have it, so we're just going to have to attack them. We're just going to have to like declare war on them. And because they positioned all of their fleets inside their ports, we can't just wander straight in. We would have to like, we could go to that one and wander as far across as we can. But if we were to just drop them off on the beach, we would have it would waste a turn. So we'd have to then wait a turn and then attack, which may be worthwhile, given that they don't, providing they don't have another army somewhere marching this direction. I might give it a couple of turns though, and just wait and see what they do with these fleets. If they send them away, if they leave one of the ports, one of these two ports, undefended, we may be able to just wander in. Right. I've thought about it. We've spent a turn. They haven't moved their fleets. So I'm thinking, rather than take France immediately now, try and deal with who we've currently got as enemies. And who we've currently got as enemies is Sweden. So I'm thinking, given that we now have a full army in this fleet, send them across and try and take Denmark. Or Stockholm, or somewhere that Sweden have. I'll take out this fleet first. End them, and just head all the way over this direction. See about taking somewhere over here, because as much as I'd like to take France, Jesus Christ, yeah, as much as I would like to take France, I think it's a bit too much right now, given that we're still fighting with Sweden. And if we do take Denmark, we're then right on the border with France pretty much. We could take Hanover, and then we're right on the border of what France has in this sort of area as well. So it just gives us more options when it comes to attacking them. We could then like do like a triple-pronged attack from different directions. We could attack somewhere like Cologne at the same time as attacking Paris, at the same time as attacking Turin, and we could attack like the Louisianas. And if it all works out, we could in one fellow swoop just take out like half of France. So it is something that could work out much better in the long run. Because as much as I'd like to take France right now, I think that as the longer that battle lasts, like the longer we're at war with France, the worse it's going to get. Just with the amount of naval power that France has, it's just something that could completely end us if they were to just, given that basically all of our trade goes through that one port. If they blockade that one port and we can't get it back, we lose all of our money, and then we have nothing to fight with. So it's yeah, I think it's playing with fire trying to take France at the moment. I think we need to be 100% certain that what we do when we try and take France works, because it could really backfire on us if it doesn't. So let's try and take out Sweden first, and then look at taking on France. But I was all gung-ho for it, but the more I've thought about it, the worse the prospects become if it all backfires on us. So yeah, I think it's probably worth just trying to maintain what we've got at the moment and then look at taking them on. But that does mean we now have this army up here that we could use to take on something. What I'll do is I'll send them over to Antigua and take over the Leeward Islands, just because they're rebels and they basically like it's a walk in and take it sort of thing. So we'll do that for the time being. Just completely secure the Caribbean. All we can take right now, we'll take it. Right, I'm literally spending like all of my money upgrading this one place, and it's going to become our like main hub for taking over all of not Ireland. Anyway, taking over all of India. If we can build our operation from here, it's a very nice location. It's always good to start from an island, because it means that the opposition need to send ships. They can't just walk in with armies. They've got to send ships to you, which is always a bit of an issue when it comes to them trying to attack you. So it kind of adds a bit of protection there. So yeah, I think we'll spend a few turns upgrading some of this. Actually, no, we won't. What we'll do is we'll send our army that we've currently got whilst that's upgrading, and we'll send them to start attacking this place up here. See, they've got some pretty hefty armies up here. That's the one issue. Right, we'll just dodge around here for a while. Wait, random Portuguese ship just sitting there. Wait on them like clearing off somewhere, and then we'll go in and take Arcot. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but we'll take it, and then that'll begin our attempted destruction of this Maratha Confederacy. There's like a kind of moderately sized Swedish army just marching along the top of Norway like nobody's going to notice them. They're just kind of making their way very slowly along the very tip of Norway. And because there's no like real roads or anything up there, it's taking them forever to get down to us. Donald, is there anything you could try? Take out that lad. He's got a mustache as well. Donald Hurst, just... For fuck's sake, Donald. So now he's dead as well. I've lost both my rakes. Both of my garden rakes are now dead. I mean, to be honest... Oh, Prussia's destroyed. Yeah, to be fair, Donald Hurst has probably not been the best of agents for us. Let's say he's attempted a lot and failed a lot. I like how spread out these islands are, but you go to this one, you put your ship in that port, and then somehow you just walk across to that one. But auto resolve that, and we win, and we now have Antigua. And I think the only other rebels around here are these guys. So we could say, fucking hell, France. You are aware you could put all of your troops inside the city, and then rather than having 4 flags flying around the place, you could just have the one. But anyway, yeah, I'm not really sure if this is really worth taking. I mean, it only makes 623 coins, but that's 623 more coins a turn than we had before. So it's probably worthwhile in the long run to take all this stuff over. How much does Cuba make us? 1,200, 800. Oh, Jamaica! Jamaica, for the size of it, makes us almost as much as Cuba, which is pretty damn good going. Bahamas make us absolutely nothing. Florida, do you make absolutely bugger all as well, apparently? Let's have a look at Copenhagen. Just sail down here. That could be an easy take. I would fight it myself, but this video's probably getting a bit on the long side already, so I think we'll auto-resolve it. Hopefully we win. We do win. We lost quite a few men, but we had over double as many as they did, so it was always going to end in us winning. So we've now taken Denmark, and that's pushed the Swedish back out. I mean, Denmark, look at the state of it. Look at the state of it. You can barely see the flag for the amount of smoke that's coming up out of it. How much does this place make us? 2,300, not bad. Public order's not too bad either. I mean, I would imagine the Danish are probably extremely unhappy about the whole situation at the moment. First of all, they get taken over by the Swedish, and then like 3 turns later, we rock up and we're like, oh, hello, we'll take you now. I'm not sure whether to declare war on them yet. I'm not sure. I think that could be next week's doings. I think we'll try and take over the low yield plantation, spice plantation down here. We'll try and take over this area next week, hopefully. I'm hoping that some of these guys disappear off. I think if we were to take that as it is, I think we'd win. But it might be quite a close battle, and I don't really want to auto-resolve it. I think I might have to fight it myself, which always takes a little while when you're editing a video to try and edit out a fight. So, yeah, I think we'll leave that until next week. I think that's pretty much everything that's going to happen. It's not been that great an episode, to be honest. It's been a pretty boring week. We've not done much. There was a lot of promise coming into this week, and none of it really came to any fruition. So sorry for that. We were going to take on France, but that has completely fallen by the wayside. So it'll happen at some point, but for now, I think it's just a bit too soon. But we have taken some stuff. We took Denmark from the Swedish, and we took areas in the Caribbean. We took Jamaica. That was the most awful Jamaican accent. Jamaica. Anyway, we've taken Jamaica, and we take the Leeward Islands as well. We'll probably try and take them. These lads decide to declare war on us, and I've done absolutely nothing about it. So, for some reason, they decided, oh yeah, we'll declare war on Scotland, and then not send anybody up to try and take us. So, I'm waiting. I'm waiting patiently on their first troops arriving, but nothing yet. Try and take France again at some point. United States are a possibility. I don't know if the United States are at war with Canada. Sorry, New France. They're at war with a lot of people, but they're all on the opposite side of the world from them, so it's kind of a bit of a pointless battle, really. I mean, look at, like, all the Reds, what they're at war with. If you look at it, it's just absolutely ridiculous. They're at war with half of India and the whole, basically, of Eastern Europe, but it's kind of redundant because they're on the opposite side of the world. But anyway, they're not at war with Montreal, or New France, or whatever it's called. So they're kind of just sitting there. It'd be nice to declare war on them, but again, I kind of want to get rid of France first. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling on right now. Anyway, I think that's probably going to end the video. Not much has happened. Oh well, hopefully next week it all kicks off. Hopefully we take over Stockholm in Finland, Abo, and then we can properly look at taking over France. Probably try and take over Hanover, just to get ourselves a little bit of a Hanover and maybe this Württemberg. Yeah, take over both of them, and that gives us a really good position to then stage an attack on France and just completely crush them from every side. But yeah, that'll happen probably next week. At least I hope it happens next week, otherwise next week's video is probably going to be a battle of laughs and nothing happens anyway. But until then, we'll find out in a week, and until then, yeah, it's been good. So if you've liked this video, then subscribe and give a thumbs up as well. I mean, it's not much worth putting a thumbs up, but if you do put a thumbs up, then thank you. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. So until then, cheerio.